Hello, my name is Ali Mustafa Fatao, and this video is my presentation on the Arduino Uno board. For this project, I used KCAD, a free and open source schematic design tool, to study the actual circuit design of the Arduino Uno board. My goal in this video is to walk through the main sections of the schematic and explain what each part does and why it's important to how the board functions. You may ask, what is the Arduino Uno board? Before going into the schematic, I want to give a quick overview of the board itself. The Arduino Uno is a microcontroller development board built around the Atmega 328P chip. It has 14 digital input and output pins, 6 of which supports PWM, and 6 analog input pins. It can be powered through USB or through an external power supply using a barrel jack. It's commonly used in beginner electronic projects because it simplifies a lot of the circuitry needed to use a microcontroller directly. Why I used the keycard? To better understand how the board actually works internally, I opened the official Arduino Uno schematic files in KiCad. This lets me see the real connections between components instead of just reading about them. I'll go through the schematic in four main sections: the power supply, the microcontroller and clock circuits, the USB to serial section, and the input and output headers. Now on the power supply, as you can see, this is my power supply. The board can be powered two ways: through the USB ports, which can be found here, or through this, which is the power supply itself. The USB port, which provides 5 volts directly on through the barrel jack, and from the barrel jack, you can find the barrel jack here. This is the barrel jack. The barrel jack accepts 7 to 12 volts. Since the microcontroller needs a steady 5 volts to run properly, the external voltage passes through a voltage regulator, which is the NCP1117, which steps it down to 5 volts. I also noticed where the tape from onto the next the microcontroller and clock circuits, which is the Atmega 328P. Which has digital pins, analog pins, power pins, and the reset pin. Right beside it is a 16 MHz crystal oscillator with two small capacitors connected to it. This crystal gives the microcontroller a precise timing signal, so it knows exactly how fast to run instructions. If this clock signal weren't accurate, things like serial communication and timing-based functions wouldn't work correctly. Now, this is the USB interface. This is the USB interface, as you can see on my screen. One thing interesting while researching this is that the Arduino Uno actually uses a second microcontroller, the Atmega 16U2, just to handle USB communication. This chip manages the connection between the computer and the main microcontroller, which is how the code gets uploaded to the board and how it sends data back through the serial monitor. Having a separate chip for this makes the whole process easier for someone using the board, since they don't have to deal with USB communication directly. Header pins and I with the header pins and I/O, If you look at the header pins along the edges of the schematic, these connect directly to the microcontroller's input and output pins and are broken out so you can easily connect jumper wires or other components. Some pins are marked for PWM output and others are used as analog inputs for reading sensor values. In summary, you will look at four main parts of the Arduino Uno schematic: the power supply and the voltage regulation, the microcontroller and its clock circuits, the USB to serial communication chip, and input-output headers. Going through this in KiCad helped me understand not just what the Arduino Uno does, but how its actual circuit design supports that functionality. Now, with this schematic, you need to go to the PCB, which gives you the outline on how it looks when you're about to print it out. So with this diagram, this is the PCB layout, which has been routed. All wires have been connected, and then when you go to the 3D model, this is how it looks when it is made. Then you can use it for coding, for your coding. Thank you very much. My name is Ali Muslim Patel.